We're going to go ahead and look at graphing lines that are in slope-intercept form. And we talked about slope-intercept form yesterday when we talked about finding the slope. And then we also talked about the y-intercept or the intercepts 2 days ago. So slope-intercept form is when you have y equals mx plus b. And that m is going to be your slope, the number next to the letter x. And this b is going to be your y-intercept, the number by itself. And so I want to go ahead and look at an example with you on the graphing piece here. If we were to identify number one, if we were to identify the slope and the y-intercept, you would see your slope is 1/4. And I like that it's actually a fraction. Don't freak out about that. You would see your y-intercept is a -1. Don't forget about that -1 at the beginning. So when we graph linear equations, we're always going to start with the y-intercept. So we're going to start with the green that we circled, the -1, and we're going to plot that on our y-axis. Here's our y-axis. We're going to go down to the -1 and we're going to put a dot. And then we're going to look at our slope. So first is plot that y-intercept. Next, look at the slope. The top number means the rise. So that means I'm going to go up 1 from that green dot. And the bottom number means the run. So we are going to rise 1 from the green dot, and we're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to place a dot. So I went up 1 and over 4. And we're just going to connect those two dots. And that is how you graph an equation in slope-intercept form. Now I want to do a little reminder on a couple things. If you look at number 2, what number goes in front of the x? Well, that would be a -1. And we always want to make them a fraction. So I'd put a -1 over 1. Your slope, you want a fraction. Let's look at number 3. What number goes in front of the x? Well, it'd be a +1, and let's make it a fraction. We can make any number a fraction by placing it over 1. Number 4, it's already, your slope is already as a fraction, so you're good. And number 5, how do I make the -3, my slope a fraction? Place it over 1. So we always want our slope as a fraction when we're graphing here, because the top number is going to mean your rise, the bottom number is going to mean your run. Now remember, if the top number is a negative, you're not going to rise. That negative means you will fall. So go ahead and try 5 problems. This is the front of the worksheet. There is a back. Just try graphing 5 of them. And that's it. That wraps up our review for Algebra 1 for next year. And that wraps up our school year.